Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the What's on Joe Mind TeamStream. It's Thursday night. It's 9 o'clock. You didn't have anything else to do. Still quit pretending you did. I'm Mike here. I'm Mike here. It's Harry.
Are you sure?
Oh my God! I've gone and screwed up the stereo thing again. It's never a team stream unless I'm screwing up the stereo thing. But anyways, with me this evening, the Honcho, Mark Weber.
Woohoo! And I brought backup.
Weber rare,
pretty rare that What's on Joe Mind is 50% Weber. And they said, well, Joe's got that whole wedding, honeymoon thing. She can't make it. I said, great. She'll be 50% Weber. And Mike said, no, I got a co-host. And I said, I better up my game. We're going to keep this. If we're going to keep this 50% Weber, I got to hustle.
That's right. That's right. And you may see in the bottom row there, that is the nerve center of Codename Iowa, the hosts of Operation A.R.M.O.R on November 7th. That is Brian Sauer and Travis Weber.
Howdy.
Hello. Thank you for having us.
Sorry I didn't give you a more flowery intro, man, but the Honcho went a little crazy on us there.
We're out of here. We need more than that.
I was just say it's a better greeting than I get whenever I come home. So.
Oh, look at that.
No.
Look, guys.
Man, it bumped Brian down. I got to move him back up. You gotta get him back up.
Look, Mike screwed up his own name on the intro, so maybe you got to lower your expectations a little bit.
Yeah, but no one would ever know if he screwed it up. So
it wasn't so much that I screwed it up. It's just that I started hearing myself in my headphones 2 seconds ago, and so I had no idea what I was saying anymore. It was over. We were done.
You said, and I quote, "I'm Mike here," and then you talk Herculoids.
Then I started talking like Gloop from the Herculoids again.
I can't do that.
Well, wrap it up. The show can't get any better than that at this point. So.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
No, not quite. But we got a little news. And then we will talk to these two gentlemen about their fine event coming up a week from Saturday. But first up on the docket.
Really a week from Saturday?
2 weeks, right?
Okay.
Don't rush it.
I don't know.
Yeah, I was going to say it better because we're not ready for it next week.
Oh, yeah. No, next weekend is Halloween, so never mind. My bad.
Yep. That's okay.
I'm denying.
Saturday, November 7th.
Yeah. I mean, we'll get to it. Relax. We got like, we do an hour and 15 or so. So we got like an hour and 12 minutes to get to it, Travis. Relax, man.
Oh, man, my preacher background's kicking in. You got to say it 5 times to make people remember it. So we're down 1.
I was going to say, I thought I read we could kill their mics while you were answering the questions, Mike.
If only, but
isn't that what we agreed to?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I mean, the problem with it is if you say November 7th 5 times in a mirror, Brian Sauer appears.
Exactly.
But if he's already here, then why would we do that? Right?
November 7th.
In front of a mirror.
In front of a mirror.
The screen doesn't count.
That's fine.
Okay. Anyways.
November 7th. I'm getting the word out.
There you go. November 7th.
November 7th.
So our first news item tonight.
Dude.
Jay Cochran at TNI posted an article this afternoon concerning the potential of an upcoming Sergeant Slaughter figure in the new G.I. Joe classified line. And I'm going to go ahead and get that up on the screen for everybody. Ooh. And from the top, again, that is dated October 22, so just earlier today. Jeff, I don't know who Jeff is. Jeff sends us word of this video of a live virtual signing that took place earlier this week at 80s Wrestling Con with WWE legend Sergeant Slaughter. In the video at one point, time mark 1:15:30, Slaughter mentions he has a meeting this week in Rhode Island with a new friend named Ben, who he says is real close with Hasbro. Of course, Hasbro is located in Rhode Island. And the Ben he refers to is probably Ben Montano, who is a global brand executive for product marketing and entertainment at Hasbro. You may recall he moderated the G.I. Joe brand panel during PulseCon. So we obviously have no idea why Sergeant Slaughter is meeting with Hasbro or what might actually come of it, but our thought would be to discuss the possibility of doing a new G.I. Joe figure. The last time we got a Sergeant Slaughter G.I. Joe was from Hasbro, or rather, last time we got a Sergeant Slaughter G.I. Joe from Hasbro was back in 2010 for the 3.75 inch 25th anniversary line, which was released as a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. If we got a new Slaughter figure, we would think it would be for the new 6-inch classified line. Of course, someone already beat Hasbro to the punch on that front, since there is already a new Sergeant Slaughter 6-inch figure coming from Voliverse for the 112 scale Action Force line. Excuse me. If Hasbro ends up releasing a new 6-inch G.I. Joe classified Sergeant Slaughter figure, it will be interesting to see who does it better. Misplaced question mark. And then it gives us a bunch of pictures and so on and so forth. So, interesting piece of news that broke this afternoon. Mark, you're a former chief marketing officer for a G.I. Joe brand at Hasbro. Why don't we turn to you first? What does this look like to you?
Well, I'm automatically skeptical of any headline with question marks at the end of it. Right? Let me throw one by you, right? Will The Rock star in Little Women 2? Question mark, question mark, question mark.
I'd
Probably
go see
not,
that movie.
right? Yeah, probably
That'd
not.
be amazing.
So, right?
I'd watch that movie.
Will they ever stop making Fast and the Furious movies? Question mark, question mark, question. Anyway. And the reporting is even dubious, right? Because there was a Sergeant Slaughter Creo G.I. Joe figure in what, 2015?
Yeah.
Something like that. 15 or 16.
Yeah. Right? So he even got that wrong. So, is there something in the works? Who knows? But I wouldn't take this as a smoking gun. I mean, it wasn't found on a laptop in Delaware.
I mean, even if the conversations are true, I mean, how long would it take for development and release of this? I mean, you're talking a couple of years, 18 months at the very quickest.
18 months minimum.
Yeah. So by the time we would see a Slaughter figure, a couple of years. Who knows, with COVID and everything else going on, it could be another 5-6 years. I don't know. I'm still waiting for some of my my Wave 1 to come from Hasbro. So we'll see.
Second honcho, Travis Weber.
Yes, sir. I fully expect this to be a My Little Pony crossover, and I think it would be amazing. I think people are blowing smoke with G.I. Joe. He's been there. He's done that. The Sarge has not gone equestrian, though. So
it's time to conquer new worlds.
That's right. Either that or the Transformer crossover. I could see him transforming into like a taco truck or something, maybe. I think it's right for cross-pollination. They're all into that crossover thing now with Transformers,
I like
right.
I'm picking up what Travis is putting down. I'm thinking of the Camo Ranger.
There
right?
you go.
Mask with that giant chin under it. So good.
Oh, man. Have you seen some of the, remember Transformers Animated? They had the chins out to there. I mean, he already looks like one of those guys. So.
Yeah, there you go. You hadn't thought of that. But my thinking is that Voliverse probably has the rights to do Sarge in 6 inches. Maybe they don't have the rights to do them in other scales.
I mean, it's possible. I don't know anything in general, but specifically about what Bobby's got working contractually with Sergeant Slaughter. But does anybody else feel like Hasbro's on the verge of unleashing 3 3/4 figures right now?
I mean, there's the retro line.
Yeah, I mean, would it be possible to fit, just re-release a San Diego figure in the retro line?
I guess the only way tea leaves I see right now is when the movie comes out, whenever that is. They might try to do give the retro line another kick, because that was the original plan, was for it to come out during the movie. It's no surprise that we got Snake Eyes, Storm Shadow, and the Baroness, all confirmed characters from the upcoming movie in this initial wave that got released. So there might be something going on by the time the movie finally comes out, whenever that actually is. But I haven't heard or read or felt anything that made me think that Hasbro was about to unleash the 4-inch figure. It wouldn't make any sense on a widespread basis when they're trying to get everyone converted over to the 6-inch line.
Very true.
Maybe
I mean,
they just contacted him for a hosting job or something. You know, it could be any of the part of the entertainment channel as well.
That's true.
It's true. There is all kinds of TV and movie projects.
Mm-hmm.
Sarge does some voiceover work, so that's not unheard of either. But again, I mean, we don't. He's playing coy and only giving us a first name of Ben, and we're kind of drawing conclusions from that. So I guess time will tell. I guess is probably the easiest thing to say, but you never know. You never know. Regardless of what they've got, I mean, Bobby's figure is going to be what, spring, summer next year.
Yeah, and Bobby's got makes a salient point tonight, because obviously everyone's giving him a ring to see what he thinks. And you know what he thinks? He thinks there's a great Sergeant Slaughter figure coming out in February or March, and you can go order it right now. So if you're excited about the possibility of a 6-inch Sergeant Slaughter, we got great news for you.
Yeah, go get one.
Go get one. Yeah,
go get one.
It's coming.
All right. So that is that for our first news item. First flying already. You see that? See that, guys? You see what a loose cannon I got to deal with here?
I was stirring
it. Next news item. I got to find my rundown. There we go. Action Figures Industry has posted listings for Flint, Lady J, and Major Blood in the G.I. Joe classified line. And those who remember from a few weeks back, Action Figure Industries is that toy retailer in Australia. Last month, they posted what was Wave 3, included Zartan and the Cobra Trooper, also Lady J and somebody else. I forget who else was in that initial listing. And as we know, everything's getting shuffled around. So it seems to be fashionable to get on these guys for what they're posting as upcoming figures in the classified line. But truth be told, they're probably dead on. Just don't have the right order, much like the rest of us.
Well, I don't think it's any stretch of the imagination that Hasbro is going to put out Flint and Lady J. I mean,
right?
I mean,
come on, Travis, how obscure are they?
I mean, and those names have been around since practically the launch of the line, rumored in one wave or another. So I don't. There's no surprise to this. But like I said, as much as stuff is getting shuffled around, is it going to be Wave 3, Wave 4? Is it coming out in the spring, next summer, next fall? Who knows? It'll be here eventually.
Brian,
yeah, I've heard rumors floating around of other characters that have been kind of constantly brought up, and it seems like they keep getting kicked down the line. And there's probably 6 or 8 names I've repeatedly heard that, oh, we're going to get them this fall, we're going to get them this winter, we're going to get them next spring, we're going to get them next summer, and it'll hit eventually. So yes, when will it hit? That's a good question. Or when is the street date going to be? When are we actually going to be able to see them? When are we actually going to be able to get them in our hands? Those, who knows? Those are all I mean, to me anymore, it's all imaginary until I actually can find one or have one in my hand.
And I think if you look at what Hasbro has done with their other 6-inch lines, having a wave release of 3 figures is somewhat irregular.
Yeah.
So I gotta believe that, with the movies sliding out, there had to be movie product at the 6-inch scale that obviously got delayed. So I feel like they've been, playing defense on some level, and not their fault, obviously.
Yeah.
But they've been shuffling things, which I think is part of the reason why we're seeing smaller lineups and seeing them released at abnormal times, and they're just, they're scrambling a little bit, and at least they're scrambling and providing figures. So, as frustrated as some of us have been with the availability, especially of the Target figures, at least we are getting product. And I think wasn't Barbecue the other guy whose name was in that line originally?
Yeah,
originally, yeah. He was in the Wave 3 with Zartan, Major Blood, Flint, and Lady J. And then AFI posted what they thought was going to be a Wave 3 that was a little bit reconfigured. And then, Hasbro Pulse went live with the two more Target exclusives plus the Cobra Soldier and Zartan on their own. And so it really is. It's almost like, Mark will know what I'm talking about from his radio days, much like mine. It's like there's somebody on the other side of the glass just doing this.
Yeah,
right.
Just draw it out, stall for time, just keep going. We have to stretch this until next October when we have a movie and can finally push out the rest of the movie product.
Yeah.
So,
well, I thought originally Wave 3 was one of the postings I saw was that there was supposed to be a movie Snake Eyes and a movie Storm Shadow in one of those listings as well, which obviously, and that was still when the date was in flux for the movie.
Oh yeah.
So we pushed it all the way back to the end of October now of 2021. So yeah, of course they're going to be, they're shuffling and scrambling. I mean, I'd like to know why, as G.I. Joe fans, are we constantly screwed over by movies?
Right. I mean, there's got to be some lingering effect from the last movie and what a debacle that toy launch was.
I mean, yeah, like
the Honcho will give you a whole thesis on getting screwed over by movies.
I can't imagine anyone getting screwed over by the delay of a G.I. Joe movie.
Right.
It's totally wrong. But I mean, really, we saw movie figures as early as initially as Wave 2.
Mm-hmm.
The first listings we saw, Wave 2, were Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow, plus the 3 figures that wound up being in Wave 2.
Right.
So it's you got to take all of the timing of everything is going to be a grain of salt. But as far as the characters, I mean, people are hacking them up, saying, "Oh, well, there's no way that." No, they're probably spot on. They're probably reporting as fairly accurately. They haven't missed yet. They've just missed the order on things.
Right.
And we've all missed the order on things because it changes every other week.
You can see the seeds of Flint, right?
Oh yeah.
It's Duke's, all dollars to donuts. It's Duke's torso with that beautiful chest cut. And they wouldn't have given Beachhead a beret if they weren't going to use it for something else. They wouldn't, because it is cool, and I'm thrilled that they gave it to him. But it isn't required for the character, right? He never wore that, did he?
No.
He had it, but
even mine, it's in his hand now.
Yeah, I love that they gave it to him because it shows they're paying attention to the history, even something that isn't completely obvious, right?
Sure.
So I think that's great, but obviously that's going to be Flint's beret down the line. The one that's interesting to me is Lady J, because I don't think there's much of Scarlet or the Baroness that's reusable for J. If they're going with a traditional look for her, and that's a lot of tooling to sink into a figure with limited reuse possibility. So I'm curious to see if it is J, is it going to be the Lady J we remember, or is it going to be some kind of mishmash of existing parts to modernize her? Don't know.
Maybe. I mean, if it's new parts, I'm sure it's new parts that won't be new parts when they get used the next time around. So if they do a cover girl or something like who's dressed in something close to normal clothes like Lady J is.
Hey, I'm all for, female representation and all of that. And G.I. Joe was one of the lines that hit that, very early. Before a lot of other lines were doing it. But, man, once you get past Scarlet, Lady J, Baroness, it's a pretty big drop down to the next tier. So unless they're doing female Cobra Troopers, which would be awesome, I don't know that there's another big female seller in the Joe Pantheon, and they aren't making new characters. I guess Jinx maybe is the next one down, but
Zorana, I would say, but
yeah, I mean, but those are, and I say B not as like B movie, like just not quite A, but it's a significant drop off after those three. So we'll see.
Yeah. I mean, you're Baroness Scarlet and Lady J. You're talking 3. If you ask somebody to name 10 characters out of the line, those 3 characters are in that 10. So
yeah, and kudos to G.I. Joe as a brand for having 3 females among their top 10 or 12 recognizable characters. They were way ahead of the game on that.
In a boy's toy.
In a boy's toy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have to put that in quotes because normally we have a female co-host.
Yeah.
So I don't want her to come back and like curse me out on the live stream.
Well, I can go get a wig if you need. I don't know.
I mean, Travis, I just thought you were doing that anyway. I'm kind of surprised you're not wearing it already. So.
Oh, sorry.
Or do you just need a haircut?
I've grown the hair out a little bit. It's just not quite there yet. Sorry.
All right. I mean, it's styling. You are profiling.
Taika Waititi opened the door for a lot of us curly-haired guys to grow it out again. So
there you go. Nothing like a little global pandemic to get
That's
everybody to change up their hair. Mine looks like it's sticking out in about 4 different directions today. I don't know what's up with that.
So I'm guessing with the female host being absent, this is probably the most you've ever talked about hair on a G.I. Joe podcast, right?
No, because usually that's me regardless. Joe Colton does not bring up hair very often, unless it's my hair. So, anyways. But next news item.
I was muted.
We have the hosts of an upcoming virtual event on, but there's also another virtual event happening before theirs. This Saturday, October 24th, is CoilCon 11. And that will be taking place from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. with panels hosted by noted author James Kavanaugh, artist Adam Fields, John Cremines of Cremines Creations, and we've also got claim sales from Roma Collectibles and more. You can find out more about CoilCon 11 on CoilCon 11's Facebook page, including admission and how to get involved with those claim sales and how to all that other good stuff. Like when we did a virtual event here on What's on Joe Mind, it was just code for us putting a lot of shows together and throwing them up all in the same week. It was a virtual event in the very basest sense of the word. We just got we were early to that party, so Lord knows the science was just not there yet. But
I remember the pitch meeting. We're like, "Hey, Mike, how would you like to not sleep in March?"
Yeah, that last week of April was a tough one. That was, whoo, yeah. But yeah, that was. So we've got CoilCon coming up on Saturday. So if you're interested in getting out and hearing from noted author James Kavanaugh et al., hit up the CoilCon 11 Facebook page on Facebook, or opposed to the CoilCon 11 Facebook page on YouTube or something like Anyways, yeah, this is what happens when Mike goes off script. But yeah, hit up their Facebook page and they'll have all the details for you. I used to run CoilCon, so I'll vouch for these guys. They're great guys. And 11 years in the can with this one. So get on out and support those guys if you can this Saturday.
Yeah, it's a good group of guys. And, they were on the forefront of the kind of the fan convention thing and doing stuff like that. I was, involved with that Ohio group there before it was Coil for a while. And, really, if you haven't seen some of the stuff that John does and makes and builds, that panel ought to be fascinating. I think he's such a creative individual, and the stuff that he makes. If you've never seen his life-size snake armor, it's pretty awesome. So tune into that. Support Coil any way you can. That's a good group of guys trying to keep the hobby alive, trying to keep it focused on the fans. We really do look at them as a sister group, sort of, out in those wilds of Ohio and Indiana where rednecks and crazy people live, but not civilized like Iowa.
Right. Absolutely.
We need a voodoo burger here, though. That's for sure.
Yeah, you do. Better yet, you just need to come to Iowa and have zombie burger, not voodoo burger.
Or that, I'm sorry. See, I've never been, so there you go.
Oh, yeah.
You don't know. The tales, the stories, the after-event dinners.
Joel McMullen remembers the CoilCon tagline, the future of conventions and conventioneering. I don't have the echo effect anymore, so oh well. What can you do?
You can't fit that on a shirt.
I mean, you can. It would just be really tiny.
You got to bend it like a rosary or something.
Yeah. There you go.
It's all Talamachia. It fits. Just got to bend it.
There you go. It'll get there. Just circle. Anyway. So that pretty much closes out the news.
That's it? We don't want to talk politics?
No.
If we wanted
to. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I absolutely do want to talk about politics, but
well, I came on here with you. I would at least do a little World Series talk or something. I mean, come on.
My mom taught me that if I didn't have anything nice to say, not to say anything at all.
Oh,
that's why I'm not talking politics. But anyways, I'm waiting for Mark to give me the news sound so we can end the news. There we go. See? I mean, you do it. It happens anyway.
Dude.
I mean, we're trying to carry on in Joe Colton's place here. We have to do things her way.
That's why I paused last time, like I wasn't quite paying attention, and then did it quicker.
Well, yeah, and you didn't mute your mic though, so that right there. As we bag on Joe Colton, despite the fact that she's not here. Okay. So, gents, as we mentioned at the beginning of the show, you guys are the nerve center, the pulsating brain mass of Codename Iowa, and generally speaking, assembly required. But of course, COVID has wiped out a lot of shows this year. If the list is long of COVID-19 casualties, and unfortunately, assembly required is one of would have been the 10th year of assembly required.
Yep.
But all is not lost. Tell us about Operation A.R.M.O.R.
It's not. Well, I'll give you a little backup a little bit. So yeah, this was going to be our 10th assembly required, and this was going to be big. And we were actually way out ahead of this as far as getting all our stuff together and in order. Venue, everything was pretty well. I think we were February, and we were all kind of ready to rock and roll. And
if you guys, Mike, especially you running a convention, you know how rare that is to actually be ahead of the game for once.
Right.
Usually it's everything last second, but
yeah. And then as things started going awry, it kept on getting kicked down, and we thought, well, and I believe what I told Travis is that if we're still worried about COVID in November, we got bigger problems than a G.I. Joe show.
Yeah.
And
Amen.
Sure enough, it's not as drastic, but it's still, it's kind of questionable, especially with the way state of Iowa has been.
Yeah.
And up to when did we decide? September, August. It was August, I think.
It was beginning of August. We were really seriously talking about it, and I think about mid-August was when the decision was made.
Yeah, I had actually gone to a local comic book show here. Then I wanted to see kind of what it was like. What was it like in a COVID era to put on a live show? And it was not fun. It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't fun. And I couldn't see how we could continue on with doing AR with having people socially distanced and not being able to go to Zombie Burger afterwards and go to Up Down after that and do the things that we did with all the socialization we do and all the things that happen outside of the sales floor. It just didn't feel right, and it wouldn't have done justice for the experience we wanted to create. So and so we said virtual, but let's just not take AR and put it online. let's go ahead and brand a brand new way of doing things. So I come from advertising marketing background. I just sold my agency, a year ago. And so I'm now just kind of floating around a little bit. And I've been watching a lot of online seminars and things like that. And I'm just like, there's better ways to do this. So when it came to branding, we said Operation A.R.M.O.R. I called up one of my old creative buddies, Chad Baker, got him involved a little bit. And it felt like 15, 20 years ago when we first started in advertising together and batting around ideas, nerding out about G.I. Joe and video games and stuff like that. And the whole acronym thing, and we may have put a little hard on the acronyms over the whole.
Not possible.
Over the whole thing, but
it's G.I. Joe. The acronyms are stretched. That's the point.
They really are. So so then we decided we'll go with Operation A.R.M.O.R. and we'll give this this virtual conference convention a shot, and let's do it someplace like where people are vested. And so the first place we started with the idea was the favorite thing from when I was back in 1983, 84, was waiting for that box to show up in the mailbox to get the figure, to get the Major Blood, to get the Hooded Cobra Commander, to get the Manta. So we decided, well, let's do our own little kind of branded mail away thing. People sign up. We're giving them artifacts that pertain to each one of the panels we're having, and something to actually interact with instead of just sitting there passively in front of a screen and watching. Hopefully there's there definitely is some surprises in there. There's going to be some, I think we're planning on some programming surprises we haven't announced. There's just a way that we could try to take everything and bundle it up into a box, send it to you, and then have a G.I. Joe experience across the country with all our friends that we don't get to go hang out with this year.
Yeah.
Excellent. So if you're wondering, if you're watching this and wondering, well, hey, this sounds like a great experience. This is something that I'm definitely interested in. How do you direct those folks to what's their next step?
Well, time is running out.
Yes.
So we provided 3 different levels of entry. We are calling them the specialist, the sergeant, and the captain, which unfortunately, or fortunately for us, captain's all sold out. So the top tier has been sold out for a few days now, which is pretty awesome. And then the bottom tier, the $10 tier, is the specialist. And essentially what you get for that is guaranteed access. So we're not sure. Well, we're still working through the technology aspect of it all, but everybody who pays the $10 is guaranteed access to the live event. They get a bunch of artifacts, a bunch of fun stuff. So you get a little piece from each one of the panels. So you're going to get a little recreation representing something that's covered in the D class. You're going to get a little recreation of something that is covered by the full force panel. And then you're going to get yourself a little souvenir of the illustration by Marvel DC legendary comic book artist Ron Wagner. You'll get to see a video that pertains to Ron drawing that sketch that you'll receive. So that's the specialist level, and that comes in at $10. You can step it up to the sergeant's level, and you get all the same goodies. I forgot to mention the patch. We're doing patches this year, people. We got embroidered patches. So you'll get a official armored Operation A.R.M.O.R. patch with that. And then with the sergeant's one, you step up and you get the colored sketch from Ron Wagner, the colored sketch. You'll also get a special patch, which will be covered in the D-Class panel as well.
Yeah, and secret for now. No peeking.
No peeking, no secrets. Yeah, this one's top secret. And then you'll get the T-shirt, which I think has made its rounds kind of around the Facebook a bit. That would be the Manta Sailing Club '83, done in the classic Ocean Pacific style surf T-shirts. So,
I
but yeah,
I have to say that T-shirt is incredible.
Yep.
thank you. I think actually that might have been one of those first, like, hey guys, this is what we're thinking about doing.
Yeah.
And I think that was like one of those ideas that I had right out the gate. Like, this is what
Yeah.
we're going to do for the T-shirt. So,
Well, yeah, when we talked about mail away, and the manta, of course, has to be right there, and then Brian came up, and a bunch of us that were in the Codename I group said, yeah, we got to do it Ocean Pacific style or Panama Jack, something like that. Body Glove. Remember Body Glove?
Banana Republic.
So that's been fun to watch that come to
kind of
fruition.
disappointed that we got to do it on a black T-shirt, but I don't think we're going to be selling many pink shirts. Just saying.
I would love pink, but over the
nice
years,
salmon.
how many shirts have you designed over the last 10 years, Brian?
Too many.
There's a lot of them, but it's amazing when you do the merch sales. The day of the event, the black shirts are far and away, and I don't know if that speaks to our demographic, but people love their black tees, I guess. So
typically, black T-shirt sales are very strong. Yeah. But no, it's fun because like what we want to do is, like we said, we want to try to harken back to the good old days where you'd save up your flag points, get your mom to write the $2 check or the 75-cent check, and drop it in the mailbox. Impatiently wait 3 days, and then start bugging the mailman every time you see him. Is he here yet? Do I have my Duke yet? Where's my Duke? Like today, am I going to get my Duke? Dad, am I getting my Duke today?
That's right. This whole COVID area kind of reminds you of that 4 to 6 week time frame as a kid. It lasts forever, man.
It was never 4 weeks, right?
Never.
The early one.
No, absolutely not. But yeah, and we figured this is a good experiment too. If this proves popular, I feel like we might look at doing these opposite of doing the live events. I'm very shocked and surprised looking through the people who've ordered already, how we're getting a lot of involvement from the coasts, which I'm always surprised at. Like, there's a lot of people who travel, a lot of diehards that travel year after year, coming from Texas and coming from Florida and Colorado and everything like that. But there's some new names I'm seeing this year, which is awesome, it's great to get these people to get involved in this.
Yeah, one of the great things, being involved with Assembly Required over the last number of years is watching it grow. Because, we're in the middle of Iowa, in Des Moines. Most people can't pronounce Des Moines from the rest of the country. And getting people to come out. Yeah, coming out to a toy show in November, and, weather in Iowa, you guys, Mike, you're from the Midwest, you understand what November means. It could be 85 degrees, it could be -20, and we've had them both ways at Assembly Required. But, I think one of the things Brian, who really, I want to emphasize that he is every piece of art, everything you see with Assembly Required is him. That's his brainchild. The rest of us just kind of tag along and help out where we can and our sounding board. But it's the focus on the fan experience is really what we seek to do at Assembly Required. Yeah, we have vendors. Yeah, we're a toy show, but we want people to feel welcome. And so that's where we host dinners the night before. If you're flying in from out of town and staying in the hotel, and we basically provide bus service for a lot of those guys. We take them to different places. Our local toy shop and comic shop here in town, JCD and Hobby. So a little plug to JCD and Hobby. If you're ever coming through Des Moines, check them out. But all the guys that come in early, he opens up his back rooms, and we get to pick through all of his toys that he hasn't processed yet and find all kinds of gems through there. But it's doing that kind of stuff. And the $10 set, and it feels so weird because we normally make Assembly Required a free show, and that's been a real big part of the ethos is we want it to be open to everyone. We want families bringing their kids, and that's, I think, for me, been one of the hardest things of saying we're not doing Assembly Required this year. Is we do a lot of stuff for the kids every year with the scavenger hunts and prize packages and all that. And there's no way to do that this year. And so I I'm really going to miss that segment of it. But having a free event so families bring their kids, that it's not prohibitive, that they can experience some of the community. But when you come to AR, normally you get a registration packet that includes a schedule of events, the kids brochure. Brian does a real great job of doing all this artwork. There's prints every year. And I think those that have come to Assembly Required really see that those little touches that make the show seem a lot bigger than it is. I mean, Brian strives very hard to make a very professional and polished looking product so that when people walk in, they feel like, oh, this isn't, just some toy show in the back room of a hotel. It's even the locations have been kind of curated into kind of quirky spots in downtown Des Moines that kind of shows off the city. One of the taglines that we kind of came up with over the last few years is Des Moines is for lovers, because we hear the comments every time when people fly in. Des Moines? Why am I going to Iowa in November? It's, well, Des Moines is for lovers, man. And when people come in, I think they fall in love a little bit with Iowa, and that's great, but there's a lot of work that goes into it. So that $10 package, we really wanted to kind of encapsulate a lot of what goes into the show, so that if you've never been to Assembly Required before, you can get a taste of it. Say, this is kind of what the show is about. Yeah, we love toys. The vendors love coming in and selling toys, but I think up and down, if you talk to the vendors that come out year after year, they're happy to break even at the show because they love coming and hanging out. They love coming and being part of the group of people. And that's, I hope, if you're on the fence on whether to give it a shot, you give it a shot, because I really do think you're going to enjoy it and love some of the stuff that Brian comes up with as far as the artwork and stuff. But yeah, sorry, tangent.
Yeah.
Go back. Take it away.
Yeah. I for us, for me personally, it's always, G.I. Joe has always been about the details, the interactivity, the connectivity, the interchangeable parts and everything like that. And I feel that we try to bring that to life as soon as you hit the city with us. Like as soon as that Friday night happens to whenever you leave, whether it's Sunday or Monday or whatever, like you literally, we could have grown up.
We're never, because Des Moines is for lovers.
Yeah, that's right.
For lovers.
That's right. But like, if we want to make it feel like we grew up in the same neighborhood playing G.I. Joe,
yeah,
and we've just been, separated by, 20 years and I don't know, however many thousand of miles, and we're back together again playing in the dirt mounds and everything.
Right.
Like, it's like that kind of thing of like, and just to see the families and the next generation and what's it was it Alex who's this kid's been awesome. Like he's been to every single one. He's now what, 18?
No, he just turned 16.
16. Yeah. And so he's been to just about every single one I can think of. And this kid has literally grown up with us every year. And like the last 2 years he's won the custom contest. And he is like, it's so cool to see, like it's not all lost. It's not going to be a bunch of grumpy, fat, out of shape, bald headed, grumpy old men playing with their little, dolls. Yeah, either am I. I'm all still, right. But the idea though is that like, let's try to welcome the kids in a little bit more, that next generation and stuff. And I feel like we're in a way. I mean, I don't want to blast anybody too bad, but like doing something that I feel like Hasbro's dropped the ball on over the years, and that's providing the narrative for the toy, for the play, for the coming together. It's so much of it feels like it's a, like how what does it mean to collect or play with toys anymore? I don't know how that is. So we want to provide an extension of the brand as best as possible and be those ambassadors to come in and welcome people back, or welcome new people to figure it out. Like there's been times where we just have it on the street and like, it's on the corner and big signs posted out there. People are like, hey, we were just walking by and we saw this G.I. Joe thing. We wanted to stop in and see what it was about. And like, come on in. Like, it's happened year after year.
Yeah. And mentioning Al, we need to shout out to the Joe Customs crew. They have become such a big part of the show every year. And that's another thing that we really are going to miss this year is because Joe Customs a couple years ago, they were coming down, they'd set up a booth and they would almost do like a mini convention within our convention where they would do custom demonstrations and various things. And a couple years ago, we went to said, hey, we got kind of a crazy idea. We really, we like involving the kids. We like doing the prize packs with them. We like, the scavenger hunts and all that. What do you guys think about helping every kid that comes in make their own custom? And you can tell they were a little like, oh, that's kind of a cool idea. We don't know how it would work or whatever. But, man, that first year, once those kids started rolling in, those guys transformed, man. They were so into it. And every parent that came through that I talked to, they were just so in love with those guys because the Joe's Customs guys are some of the nicest dudes you will ever meet. If you haven't gone to Joe Customs, been part of their boards, check them out. Check their Facebook group out. They're the coolest dudes, but they're like most of us. They're nerds. Maybe a little introverted, maybe a little awkward socially, whatever. But man, when they started working with those kids and showing them how to paint, showing them how to put parts together, that was a really, really neat thing that happened. And then we should mention Jason Groth also. He was a Dio maker out of he's out of Cedar Falls, I think. Iowa.
Like Waverly, I think by Waverly.
Yeah, up in that area, Waterloo, Cedar Falls area. He's a history teacher, I believe, right?
Yep.
But he makes these massive, amazing dios, and he started coming down. And in the last couple of years, he's done like mini Dio kits with the kids out of foam core, and that's been really fun to watch too. So. Another part we're going to miss, but part of what Assembly Required, I think, makes it a little different for maybe some other toy shows.
So rather than dwelling on what we're going to miss, because we're all
next
missing.
Year, though, next year,
we're all missing just being able to leave the house without consequence. What is on tap on November 7th? What do you have planned? What's the docket look like?
We don't know. We're winging it, but no.
We were hoping you could help us out with that.
Yeah, right. Mike,
all right, here we go.
Right?
No.
Replay the TeamStream from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m.
That's right. That's right. No, a tradition we started a couple years ago to open every show on Saturday morning. We started doing what's called cartoons and cereal, where we would play cartoons. And McLeod, I think he's curated it every year, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has, because he's mixed in some of the Action Force cartoons in there. So we get the Sergeant Slammer and some of the really funny dubbed over cartoons.
Yep.
And commercials and cut together some classic toy commercials and stuff. But we would always set up a little cereal bar. And while we were, while people were nursing their hangovers and limping in to try to get their booths in order.
No one did that. No one.
No.
Friday night was puritanical.
We were all Boy Scouts and we were all in bed by 9. But this gave a way for fans to come in and have a seat and watch some cartoons and kind of get a little hyped up. So we're doing the same thing. We're going to do an hour of classic cartoons, funny commercials, and unfortunately this year you got to provide your own cereal and milk. But
sorry,
yeah, we
thought about including it into the gear kits, but milk it's tough to ship. It's they ask you the whole liquid, fragile, hazardous thing, and mail stuff. It's not worth it.
We didn't know what the state of the post office was going to be this by the time November came around, so we didn't want to.
We're just marking official ballot on all the kits, and hopefully they'll make it there.
You might be able to find them all in the dumpster behind it. So we'll start off with that. We've got 3 panels that we're announcing that are lined up. I think we haven't even determined the order yet, but we'll go through. I think the first one we'll talk about D-Class. These guys
That's Joe Declassified, correct?
Joe Declassified.
Yeah, sorry. Our lingo in the Joe community, sometimes it slips through, but
yeah,
Sorry.
yeah. I can't say this without bringing up Gary Goggles, and this man, I barely knew him. Steve Kelting was good friends with him.
yeah,
and
we need to bring up Steve, that he and Brian were the ones that started Assembly Required. It was them meeting in a coffee shop and kind of building a friendship and starting this crazy idea. But yeah, his relationship with Goggles kind of brought D-Class in.
And brought him in right away from the get-go. And, Goggles was such a huge supporter of what we were doing, and it amazed me that he showed up the first show and was like, I brought all this prototype stuff to show off and talk about. And I'm like, I don't know who this guy is, but this stuff is badass. I love this. This is awesome. And so,
who are you? And you're on at 11.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And it was really great. And through that, a lot of great friendships sparked. But when we moved and graduated to doing panels, I'm like, man, whatever you guys want to do, let's do it. Let's support. Again, we're really about supporting the community, and we felt that D-Class was a very important part of the community, the Joe community, because of what they were doing with, especially the Real American Hero era stuff, with capturing and getting a hold of all that original art and sculpt and all the presentation stuff. This stuff was fascinating. I love it because I want to know where my toys came from, and I love it because I'm a marketing nerd, and I love it because I'm a creative nerd. It is fantastic. And so we've been working with them to with our theme for the show, with their theme for what they're presenting. And so this year they're going to be doing an entire panel about the mailaways. So everything from how we ended up getting Sergeant Slaughter to Hooded Cobra Commander to Cobra Commander himself, and then a couple things that we didn't get. And that, I think, is just perfect. So I'm excited about this. I know a little bit. I've been given a couple little pieces and stuff like that of things that they're going to be talking about. I've also made a couple requests that I think got rejected, but that's okay. But I think this is going to be a lot of fun. And I was just asked this morning if we have to hold them to an hour or if they can go a little longer. So I'm thinking they're packing this full of stuff. So
if you've never experienced Declassified, one of their booths or one of their panels at a convention, this is a great opportunity to see what they bring. They really are one of the most important organizations in the Joe community. They seek out pieces of history. They seek out the story behind how we got toys, how we got the things that we love. One of my favorite parts of the Declassified panels is usually seeing alt decos from different figures and different passes at a design that they have found the sketches for this kind of stuff. They have 2-ups of the actual, product that was made. It's fascinating if you're interested at all in how something goes from being an abstract idea to being produced, and it's great. So if you haven't had a chance to see a D-Class panel, this is a great opportunity. So take advantage of it. Order a $10 kit.
November 7th.
November 7th. November 7th.
The Saturday after Halloween.
Yeah,
that's right.
Ish.
So who else you got, Brian?
We got Chris McLeod and Patrick Stewart. They're full force, and they are going to not that Patrick Stewart.
Not Picard specifically. Not Picard.
Yes. They are going to be talking about a Action Force mail-away club. And this is the first I'd ever heard about it. But apparently there was a mail-away club in the UK that apparently took Chris's money and sent them an envelope and then didn't do anything else. I don't know.
This is his revenge.
Right. I don't know. I mean, I guess that's the way things work in the UK.
Sounds like something he'd do.
Yes, but yeah, he's got a fascinating lineup of like what was planned for this club and the figures you were supposed to be getting, and then what happened to those figures and the decos that still got them in the hands of fans and stuff like that. So this is really interesting, and I gotta say, Chris has been a big help with this year's convention a lot. He stepped up. He's volunteered to help us out with some stuff, and he's gone way beyond. And not to mention, like I've actually read the script for the panel, and I'm super excited for this one. This one's going to be. I think this is really cool to see what was going on across the pond with some of our beloved toys.
I know where all that mail-in Action Force money went to.
Where'd it go?
It went to New Jersey to a 10-year-old Bobby Valla. Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun.
There you go. Well, Bobby needs to start making some Tiger Force versions of his figures then.
Right.
Yes, that would be nice. Yeah, our third announced panel is going to be Ron Wagner. He worked on G.I. Joe during the Marvel era. He worked on it in IDW times. I'm trying to think of what he's best known for. He has worked on Batman and Punisher, and I'm trying to think Morpheus. He's got a note of fame on Morpheus and Daredevil, and so he's done quite a bit of on that front. So he's a local guy. He's here in town. I'm blessed to call him one of my friends. He was a big inspiration for me. Like, it's really weird to talk to him about when I would get his comic books in G.I. Joe. Like, I'd go buy them off the rack and I would come home and try to redraw them. Totally weirds him out, which is cool. I love doing that to him. So we went over to his place. I went over to his studio last week, and we filmed him doing the sketch, which will be included in version of it will be included in all the packets. And he's going to come on, and he's going to discuss it, talk about it, talk about some of his time drawing G.I. Joe, and what his experience has been like in comic book land, working with Larry Hama. And actually he's been working on a, I don't know how much I could divulge, but he's working on the Larry Hama project that's not G.I. Joe related. And he's been working on it for about the last year or so. And I was really pretty surprised and excited because I got to look at 98 of the out of the 112 pages or 111 pages for this graphic novel he's working on with Larry Hama. So I got to see those a couple weeks ago. But yeah, it is pretty amazing and it's cool. And
so did they keep the end from you, or did they keep one of the middle portions so that the end didn't make any sense?
The end is missing. The end is missing. The last 10 pages or so he's still working on. So hopefully, another month or so I'll get to see how the story ends. But he's a great guy, and we're going to be giving out information about getting a hold of him for commissions. That was the one thing that, again, sorely missed. Like, that was awesome to have Ron Wagner sit down and draw you G.I. Joes all day long, or I don't know, 5 or 6, depending on how often he was talking to everybody. But he's great guy, great guy, great artist, and I think it's just fun to have him and reconnect with things. And I'm just saying, maybe Rod Wagner comic book or two might end up in a couple people's kits. I'm just letting people know, another reason why we wanted to do the mail-in stuff, the mail-away stuff, was because we love to give away our toys. And I say give away our toys because it's like for the first couple of years, it was really literally us giving away our toys. But
take a look at Travis's background there. I mean, it looks like he's got a few more he can give away.
Yeah, see, my problem is I don't give any away, so.
Right.
That's what I'm talking about, Travis.
Right.
Not even to your brother, Mark.
He would ever come and visit, but.
Look at how empty the walls behind him are.
Yeah,
Nothing.
right.
He's got nothing.
That's right. Mom loved me more. What can I say?
You know?
But no, yeah, like Brian was saying, a big part is, because it's a free event, generating revenue to keep doing it. I don't know if people understand that putting on shows costs money. I mean, venues aren't free, and printing all these wonderful things that Brian does is not cheap. No. So we have to have a revenue stream, and normally it's a raffle. We do a raffle, and it's donated gifts and prizes from the Intel Iowa crew, and then a lot of the supporters from around the country that come in. They come in with something in their hand, say, "Hey, put this in the raffle." Kokomo Toys out there in Indiana last year gave us a flag as part of the raffle. I mean,
nice.
Generosity of the community has been really amazing, and it's a lot of fun. The raffles are a lot of fun because the biggest cheer is always when a kid wins. And it's always he comes with his dad or whatever, and they give him a handful of tickets, but a kid wins and everyone just erupts. They think that's the greatest thing ever. Until that kid wins 4 in a row, then
he has to fight his way to the parking lot.
That's right. Then Dad puts him under the coat and sneaks him out. But it's so as Brian was saying, hopefully we can sneak in a couple
some surprises. Yeah. I mean, we got some new merch that hits the shelves and some things that we've been collecting over the years that, we could fit in a mail away box, just saying,
That's right. I still got a case of Sigma 6 Zartans that I haven't been able to move. So.
Oh yeah.
Travis, I got some bad news for you on that, buddy.
Oh no. They're coming back, right? We got to be coming close to the anniversary.
Sure. I'm waiting for that anniversary Sigma 6 line.
So is Justin Bell.
Right?
That's right.
He's the only one. He's the only one.
He's the guy.
He's the one
guy. We had a better chance of getting an anniversary line of Extreme.
Extreme! Shout out to Joe Slepsky on that one.
I want them to make a Sigma 6 Royal Guard so Adam Riches and Justin Bell can fight to the death for it. So good.
So, gents, if the folks out there watching this live or watching this later, if they want more information on the event, where do they go?
You can start at codenameiowa.com. That's our website. That's got everything on there. That's got chances to buy things, how to get a hold of us, and things like that. We promise you, people, there will be more merch put up. So I've been doing these. I'm calling them cell pop art things. I don't know if anybody's seen those floating around. That would be the almost like the pop art cell shaded animation stuff. Those prints will be going up at some point soon, along with some of the other stuff we've got going, t-shirts and stuff like that. But go to the website, codenameiowa.com. Check us out there. You can also find us on Facebook.
We do have it linked up down in the details too. So if you missed that, just look down there. It's there for you.
Right on. And then Facebook, of course. We've got Facebook. We're right now we're super active on it.
Right.
Come April, not so much, but there's that. And then there's also the Instagram, which I've chiefly been in charge of, which has been ignored since I've been so busy cranking out stuff this last couple of weeks. But it's also Codename Iowa on Instagram.
Instagram's tough, man, because you can either do the work or you can hype the work, but you can't do both.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's kind of fun because Travis is downplaying his contributions, but this year he's really stepped up with helping with those 6-inch accessories and things like that. And like one of the problems we have is saying no to putting more and more stuff into these things. Again, getting back to
Travis, get with the program.
I know.
Hey, I just got manufacturing done today, so I'm happy.
Yeah. But like one thing too, going back to a little bit about the financials of this, and we try to be as transparent as possible about all this stuff, because I'm not making any money off of this. Travis is not making any money off of this. No. We're trying. Actually, our best shows are break-even shows. We are not doing this for a profit. I'm not a professional showrunner. I don't want to be a professional showrunner. I have a day, or I had a day job. It's cool. I don't, I'm fine right now. Trust me, I'm good. But what we try to do is take the money. If any profits are made from one year to the next, we invest that into the next year. So whether that's a bigger venue, whether that's more prizes, whether that's more experiences for people, that's the whole point. Is we're trying to run a break-even show.
Yeah.
And one thing I've always said constantly is, as long as I have control over AR, it is going to be a free show, a free vendor's floor. You'll never have to pay admission to get in to go and spend money. Yeah, I want to make sure.
Thanks, Charles.
That's awesome. But that's one of those things where I want to make sure that this is totally me, Travis, Steve, Cam, Dave. Like, we're just trying to have that neighborhood feel again.
Yeah.
We're trying to be 8 years old again and playing with G.I. Joe and having, a good weekend.
Yeah. The fun of it for me is when all the guys from out of town come, and we have a crew of guys that come in a day early every year to the show, and they're helping us haul tables. They're helping us stuff envelopes. They're helping us do all the little things that have to be done before we open the doors on Saturday morning. And we miss that this year. We're going to miss seeing our friends. It's this COVID thing. I've really felt bad for my kids because they missed their friends until school started up here again. And I'm kind of feeling that a little bit now. It's like we're getting close to November, and I'm not going to see my buddies from Minnesota and Wisconsin and Florida and Indiana and Ohio and all those guys that come in. It's like, you're getting a little bit of that grief coming in, but at the same time, it's like,
it's weird in this hobby. We were used to not seeing our friends very often in person, but now that it's setting in, that it's been about a year, and normally this is when we hit that reset button.
Yeah,
it's not coming right away. So,
well, and it's even when when the club shut down, there were still these fan shows going on that we could still see our friends, get together with people, all these people that, I met all these guys 20 years ago on stupid Savage Sound Off message boards and Joe Battle Lines and Ring of Collectors and, all these things, all the weird stuff. And you sit here and think, I've known some of these guys half my life now, and I can't see them now, and we can't go to Zombie Burger and die or go to Up Down or, it's sad, but we're hoping, we've got this wonderful thing called the internet now that we can kind of play with our friends again, so to speak. So we're hoping this is a bridge. We can't wait to do live shows again, but we're hoping this is an opportunity to at least feel a little bit like we're connected again with everyone else. So
excellent.
We hope to see everyone out.
And hopefully that this is the 1 year that we have to do stuff like this.
Right.
And what we can all do to ensure that it is to wear a mask when we go out, maintain social distancing as much as possible, clean up, wash your hands, disinfect surfaces, do what you can.
Yeah.
Because we're not getting back to normal anytime soon without some changes in behaviors. And that is an individual choice on everybody who might get this message. So please continue to fight the good fight. So on a somber note, we'll tie that up for the folks that codename Iowa for Operation A.R.M.O.R. Remember, that is November 7th. And that is online. Check out codenameiowa.com for more details. We're going to turn the corner, bring it into the station here, and that, of course, brings us to shout-outs. No, that's what we got in. My bad. I'm looking at the wrong part. I'm skipping ahead. Hey, Mark, how many of these have I hosted?
You know what? It's the first one that's going well.
Right.
Do it again next week.
What we got in, Mark Weber? What'd you get in this week?
You know what? It's taken a while, and it shouldn't be that hard. But I got news jammies, right? Let's get them up there. Ooh. No Baroness yet, but I got a Snake Eyes and a Storm Shadow, and you know what? People are somewhat jaded that they already have them, but come on, man, seeing that on shelf, if that doesn't make your heart do a little pitter patter, and even though the file cards are wonky, come on, man, file card, love it. So
can you give us the old 3D effect like SCTV used to do, Mark?
like the Zoom. You've been hypnotized.
There we go.
There you go. I was pretty, you know what? Just the ability to drive. I got a tip that they were at a certain Walmart in Rhode Island, and I haven't found hardly any Joe product on shelf all year. So an impromptu Saturday afternoon trip out, I got 2 of the 3. Pretty happy with it. Still hunting for the Baroness, but you know.
I got one locally if you need one shipped.
Oh, okay. I think we can work.
Wait a minute. Is that the one you picked up for me?
Not anymore.
Maybe.
Not anymore. It's all,
Maybe.
Not anymore.
all in the family, brother. Woo!
That's okay. That's okay because I have my own Walmart display in here that's chock full of everybody. So
Hey, look at him, man.
yeah.
Got
What
almost as
happens
much
when
stuff.
what happens when someone slams that door?
Nobody does. It's the closet, and there's no going up in the closet. So yeah.
Obviously, you've given it some thought.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
He's prepared.
Yes.
He's a showrunner, man. Can't throw
right.
weird details past the showrunner.
Unless you're the showrunner brings them up. Yeah.
That's right. Travis, what'd you get in this week?
Oh, that's an excellent question. We've been so focused on show. Oh, you know what? When the Amazon Prime days went on, I don't have them right in front of me, but I got in the DC Multiverse Batgirl. Got her on sale, so that was
Nice.
pretty good. And that Fortnite white suit 4-pack of the 4-inch. I don't know. They're like the playing card guys. I don't play Fortnite, so I don't know. But the white suits will be good custom fodder, if nothing else. And then I kind of dived headfirst into the NECA Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles based on the animated look. So I managed to pick up a couple sets of those this week. So
Nice. That's a pretty good looking line. I'm not big on turtles, but if I was going to buy turtles, it would be those NECA turtles.
I can grab one. But look at that crane. He's crooked in there now, but
Travis, I'm going to be dead honest with you. I don't see a place to put those toys.
there's not currently. I have to make a place. So
He knocked them off the shelf that he's sitting on right now.
Right?
We don't know what's on the other side of the camera.
Right?
Legos are on the other side.
Okay. Yeah.
Great deal.
He made a nice camera stand out of Legos.
That's right. You're laughing, but that's literally what my camera's on right now. Is a module.
Oh, nice.
There we go.
There you go. Rescue.
Receiving my psychic vibes, gathering from the universe that we call Iowa. Brian Sauer, what'd you get in this week?
Well, actually, it's funny. I was just got this like 2 hours before we got started. So it's my Mando Heavy credit line. So literally, I when I logged in and it was taking a minute, I was able to crack this guy open. So I have not exactly had a full time with him to examine him or anything like that. But yeah, pretty excited about that. I finally got my
Nice.
There you go.
last All Striker I've been looking for after Walmart has canceled it on me 3 times. So I was very excited to find that, and that was just like a fluke. I can't remember what I was in Walmart picking up, but I wasn't like hunting for anything. I just walked in and I was like, I wonder, I'll take a stroll down the aisle and see if they had anything. And that's
If you're
what they
there,
had.
you might as
So
well.
exactly it. So no, it's been I think I got a couple other Star Wars stuff this week. I got my A.R.M.O.R from Mando, and so she showed up today, and I'm trying to think. That's about it. I'm hopefully expecting a special package from AVAC, AVAC's Lab, which we never talked about Kobe, but AVAC's Lab's got a special package coming for me, hopefully tomorrow.
Nice. Because Mark, you remember AVAC's Lab.
Yeah.
It's a great place to get a little head.
I thought it was AVAC Slab.
Well, yeah.
Depends.
I told you. Yeah, that's them.
Pronunciation thing.
Kobe Brown and his band of renown.
That's right. That's right.
He's been another great friend of the show, Kobe. So
we
we
get to dust off all the old running gag chestnuts for Kobe.
There you go. Yep.
One of the neat things is Kobe and his wife, they come up to A.R. every year, and it's their anniversary weekend. So they spend their anniversary, and hence, Des Moines is for lovers.
That's right.
Right.
I heard that.
So I'm going to miss
right.
buying them a drink this year for their anniversary, but yeah.
It's well known that Des Moines is for lovers.
Well known.
I had a crazy week at work this week, so what I got in is this soda.
What is it?
It's a Coke Zero, but it's a fountain. It's delicious. Or it was back when it wasn't room temperature.
Right.
Oh, there we go. There we go.
Here we go.
Oh,
This isn't going to happen without.
There's our fifth panelist.
Moxie decided I'm taking too long on up here, and I need to come downstairs and sit on the couch.
The show has literally gone to the dogs.
Hi. Have you? Thank you.
While Moxie is administering justice, Mark Weber, why don't you give your shout outs?
I'm going to take the obvious one. Shout out to Joe Colton and the Wristlock West Whitlock, or as Mike, I believe, coined first, the Wedlock.
The Wedlock!
West Whitlock for being the happy married couple of What's on Joe Mind. So
it's 3 weeks in a row, but we're not gonna stop applauding.
Yeah, and the West, I heard it was a lovely wedding.
We have stories to tell of the online wedding experience, but we're going to leave those for next week when Joe is back.
That'll be fun.
What else you got, Mark?
That's it.
Travis, Mark's long lost brother. You got some shout outs?
Let's give a shout out to the guys over at Coil. Make sure to check out their show this weekend. That's this coming Saturday, unless you're listening to this afterwards. But check out the Coil show.
October 24.
There you go. And then shout out to Joe Declassified and Ron Wagner and who am I forgetting? Chris McLeod with Full Force Podcast. Be sure to check them out Saturday, November 7th. That's the Saturday after Halloween at Operation A.R.M.O.R. Head to codenameiowa.com and get all the info on that. But big thanks to those guys for helping us out this year. They're always such good sports and they always put on such a great discussion. So be sure to check them out.
Moxie, your shout out. Moxie's gone.
Brian
Sauer, your shout out.
She's running away. She's had enough. My shout out probably would go to the vendors. The vendors we're missing from this year.
Yeah.
The vendors who are probably feeling the most brunt of this whole cancellation virtual world right now. It's support your local store, support your local vendors. Hit up Roma, hit up Toy DiGiorno, hit up Jay's CD and Hobby. Go bug Kobe. Go check out Small Joe's. Any of those guys, all those guys who aren't going to be able to travel the circuit at all this year, and who've had to suffer through shutdowns and stuff like that. But it's the vendors that we can't support as much as we like to.
All right. For myself, of course, Rack Time Rob, the unsung fourth man. Was of our team. He was going to be on the show with everybody tonight, but he got hammered by work at the last minute, so he was a late scratch. And so Mark and I had to call this match on the fly.
Yeah.
Give a special thanks to this gentleman in the live chat, Matt Rubin, who's doing helping us out a little bit with some of the back office file keeping as far as getting some stuff up on Podbean feed. That's going to be instrumental for that. I'm going to be doing the heavy lifting on a lot of that this weekend, but it wouldn't be happening without this guy's efforts. So make sure and thank him in the chat.
And if you have a Baroness,
Jesus, hit the man, send it to the man for less than $60, would you? Anybody, you don't need to make that much money.
He's vested, but he has standards. I like it.
Right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So Matt Rubin gets a shout out, of course, to Joe and Wes. Many happy years ahead of them. We hope we will hear more about them next week, and hopefully it won't all be, over by then. Maybe they're one of those couples that can't stand to be married. We'll know next week, won't we? It sounds like a good reason to make an appointment to be on the What's on Joe Mine YouTube channel next Thursday at 9 p.m.
It'll be a special annulment edition. No, come on.
That's terrible. Says the guy who's been through an annulment. But whatever. I lived.
If Joe wanted to marry the wrong guy, there was a cot waiting.
I know, right? That cot was ready to go.
Absolutely. I know that every girl's fondest dream is to be carried sideways down the staircase into the basement and dropped on the cot.
Phil Donnelly wants a Baroness for less than 62, so let's hit Phil up too.
Yeah.
We also want to make sure
now someone's going to have to go above 60.
Right? Now we got bidders.
That's right.
I think Travis should send me the Walmart Baroness for $15, and then I will send it to Phil for $50.
There you go. That sounds like a plan.
Well, man, if they're paying $60 for the Walmart Baroness, I got them all covered.
Right?
Oh yeah. Please sell mine. Yes.
They're going to get the wrong Baroness.
But we also want to continue to send out the message to support yojo.com, and you can do that best by signing the saveyojo.com petition. Link for that is down below again as well. We are up close to 2,500 signatures, which is pretty good for a week's time. Mm-hmm. But don't be shy. Share that wherever you can. Keep sharing it. Studies show that you aren't done unless you've shared something 4 or 5 times. And so we want to get everybody's signature on there all at once, regardless, just to even if your take is that petitions never do any good. First off, yeah, they do sometimes. Mm-hmm. Our little show is proof. Second, even if Vertical Scope winds up not doing anything with the petition, fine, so be it. But having a big collection of names together in support of the folks at Yojo certainly helps them with whatever comes next.
Yeah.
So please just go out, get your name on the petition. You can always throw whatever emails that change.org sends you in your spam folder, and that won't hurt anything either. But get out, show your support, and click on the link below to sign the saveyojo.com petition. So that about wraps it up. We're actually coming in a little short of what we've done the last couple of weeks. I feel like we're getting better.
We can keep talking about it.
We can talk more.
Yeah, we got more. We got more. We got stories galore about AR and how great Iowa is. And
November 7th.
November 7th.
November 7th. But before we get to November 7th, we got a big day on November 3rd. Voting voting is important. We need to make sure that we're getting out and we're making our voices heard. Most voting places are open at this point, so you can get out to wherever it is you need to get out to and cast your ballot. This is perhaps the most important election of our lifetimes, so you don't want to be on the sidelines for it. Just get out, make your voice heard. Secondly, I'm going to reiterate from earlier, we are still in the middle of a pandemic. That hasn't changed because we don't want to be in a pandemic anymore. Nobody wants to be in a pandemic anymore. So if you're going to head out, even if it's just around the corner, even if it's just up the street, put on your mask. Maintain social distancing and avoid large crowds. Wash your hands. Just do all the common sense things to keep you and the people around you as safe as possible. And I know we haven't heard this phrase in a while, but we need to flatten that curve on infections and get things to where we can have great shows like Assembly Required again. great shows like CoilCon again. Great shows like, well, frankly, anything again. And because that's not going to change with the path that we're on right now. So please, we are begging you at this point. Do what you can, fight the good fight, and make sure that other people know that they should be fighting the good fight too.
You know what you call someone who argues about wearing a mask?
A dipstick?
No, a mask debater.
Oh!
Look, it's real.
And on that note, let's bring this one into the station. I'm not even trying, man. I'm not even trying. For our guests, Brian Sauer and Travis Weber. For the Honcho, Mark Weber. I'm Mike Irizarry. Thanks again for tuning in one more Thursday at 9 for the What's on Joe Mind team stream. Have a good week. We'll catch you next Thursday. Be here or be rectangular. Have a great evening.